2 weeks ago, we left Bolivia to take a 600-kilometer off-road detour around the country while skirting fuel shortages. Now we're about to cross back in. But unfortunately, while we were away, the fuel situation has worsened. We've been dreaming of seeing the Uyuni Salt Flats and driving the Lagunas Route, so there's no way we're not going back to Bolivia. So what do? Well, that's easy. We're going to enter the country and attempt to drive to both bucket list locations, totaling nearly 800 kilometers and 7 days of driving, with only the fuel and supplies we can carry. This sounds like exactly our kind of adventure. It's going to be fun, so buckle up and let's roam. Some roads don't simply exist on a map. They live in your mind, calling to you in your sleep, filling your thoughts at work. The Pan-American Highway, a road spanning the length of North and South America, a 30,000-kilometer road trip through more than 15 countries, is that road for us. Life to us is nothing more than a collection of moments, and we want to fill our moments with adventure. So for 18 months, we'll be driving south from Tuctayacta, Canada, all the way to Ushuaia, Argentina. From the Arctic to the Andes, through deserts, jungles, and the unknown, we'll live and wander in our self-built adventure mobile, seeking stories, chasing landscapes, and redefining what it means to us to be modern-day explorers. This is our journey. That is a lot of fuel cans. 80 liters extra to be exact. Today we are stocking up on as much fuel, water, and food as we can carry. That means 80 liters worth of jerry cans, food storage packed to the brim, and 60 liters of water. Why? Because tomorrow we're going back to Bolivia. Way to go, babe.
So strong.
Well, I think we're ready to go to Bolivia.
Just us and our children.
Alright, let's load them up. We've got supplies. Many groceries.
What do you have to say for yourself? He says.
Well, this is all of the supplies that we need to go into Bolivia.
We'll see.
We'll see. Now that right there, that's a beautiful sight. Well, hello there, gorgeous. Have you got some McDonald's? So, to answer your question, yes, we eat McDonald's down in Latin America. We like to try McDonald's from every single country, just because.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. And also, it's comfort food.
We're on this big errand day. We didn't eat breakfast because we're so silly. So this is what happens.
So we get some cheeseburgers and fries. Comfort food, it works. Now, the reason we're stocking up on so much fuel is because while we were in Chile, the fuel situation in Bolivia worsened. Fuel subsidies were taken away from Bolivian nationals, and as a result, the truckers responsible for delivering said fuel went on strike. Just when the ease of acquiring fuel in Bolivia seemed to be improving, the situation took a nosedive. What we're about to attempt is to enter Bolivia, drive to the Uyuni Salt Flats and Lagunas Route, then exit without having to fill up. We're pretty certain we can do it, but we're not taking any chances. We're back. This town again.
Yeah.
So first thing we gotta do in Oyege is actually top up our tank so that we have maximum fuel. So you can't go to a gas station here. You have to buy jerry cans. So there's a person here on Overlander, and they'll top us up, And then we get showers, then we camp, and we go to Bolivia. Finally.
Hola, Chico.
Well, here's home for the night. Old abandoned town. They should get us out of the wind, which we'll need to do tonight. Buena Aventura is a small abandoned mining locality nestled in the high Andes just southwest of the village of Uyuni, Chile, at around 3,730 meters above sea level. It was established in the early 20th century as a sulfur mining camp tied to the rich volcanic deposits of the region, serving as both an industrial center and a residential hub for workers and their families during the heyday of the Chilean sulfur industry. The settlement grew up alongside the railway linking Antofagasta and Bolivia, with facilities for processing and transporting sulfur that fueled regional mining economies. But like many frontier boomtowns, Buena Aventura's fortunes waned as demand and profitability declined. Mining operations ceased in the mid-1970s, and by the early 1980s, the camp was largely abandoned, leaving behind a ghostly cluster of ruins that now stand as silent witnesses to the harsh life and transient prosperity of high-altitude mining in the Atacama's arid pampa. The abandoned buildings made for a great windbreak, but they also made for a rather creepy night. Alright, we're out of Chile.
Now we must enter Bolivia.
Time for Bolivia. How long did it take
30 minutes
to exit?
to exit Chile.
See how long it takes to get into Bolivia. We came at the wrong time. There's a lot of people here. Well, we're here at the Bolivian aduana, and we're running into the same thing that Matt and Stacy ran into. Bolivia apparently needs 3 vehicle identification numbers, one on the door, one in the engine bay, and one on the chassis. And our van only has 2, one in the window, one in the door. And so they can't seem to figure out how to get past that, or realize that North American vehicles only have 2 VINs. Sometimes. So we've been here,
2 hours?
2 hours, just waiting for them to let us go through. Yep. International travel and stuff. Yeah, we did it!
We did it! I've never been so happy about a piece of paper in my life! Actually, maybe when we got the TIP for Mexico. That was hard. That was a hard-fought battle as well.
Yeah. Money changers. You want to do it here?
Is it here?
I'll see. You'd think that, considering our goals of driving through the country with only the fuel we can carry, that we choose a fuel-efficient route. Well, today that's simply not the case. Moments after driving into Bolivia, we had aired down the tires and set out down a gravel route to get to the salt flats. Our route would cut through a couple smaller salars and eventually deposit us at the south end of Salar de Uyuni. During our drive, we'd see surfaces ranging from fast-moving and smooth-rolling salt flats to bone-rattling corrugations where we were forced to slow right down for fear that our interior would shake to pieces. massive sloppy Joe sandwiches out of the spaghetti bolognese that we had the other night.
Day 3 leftovers.
Hey, they look pretty delicious.
If you like a sloppy Joe.
I do. It's like a wild emu. Or something.
Yeah, I think it's an emu.
But don't they only have emus in Australia? And I think I see it! A few hours later, we were approaching our first goal, Salar de Uyuni, the largest salt flat in the world. We followed an elevated gravel road out across where the high elevation desert soil transitioned to the white of salt. We had driven out onto the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah, but this was different. A lot different.
It's dry.
We're here.
Well, it's getting close to sunset now, and when we got onto the salt flats, we were like a little bit wary about, you know, like soft spots and stuff like that. But then while we sat and, you know, did a little bit of work and stuff, all these tour groups started to come in around us.
It's like we've stopped at the sunset spot.
Yeah, so as usual, we've managed to find ourselves in a place where lots of people are at a certain point in the day. And this confirms to us that the salt is safe for us to drive on. So it looks like we're going to be moving about maybe tomorrow.
Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Hey, honey.
Are you gonna get Christmas music copyright?
I don't know, maybe. Well, hey there, friends. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, and we're on the Uyuni Salt Flats. Never would have seen this coming in my life before this, believe me. So we hope everyone has a wonderful holiday season. Enjoy your Christmas Eve and day. I know that this is obviously going to be posted long time after Christmas, but this is where we are at, and we're going to enjoy the next day or so, day two, just chilling here on the flats, and Meg's going to make some cinnamon buns and some mint chocolate bark buns. Yeah, and we're just going to enjoy some downtime, and then we'll get after going to the Lagunas Route. Merry Christmas. Inca Cola, the drink of the Andes. Okay, now walk straight. Stop. Wait, no, back. Yeah. Now put it down. Go forward a little bit. Put your foot down a little bit. Up. Looks like you're stepping on the van. So put your face down. You have to put it quite far down. Further. You go forward a little bit. I think come closer. Yeah, come closer to me. This is funny. Honey, can you just pick up the van for me, please? Yeah. Oh, no.
A little closer. And to your left. Oh, no. Further. Yeah. Little. Oh, you're close. Okay, grab it. Pick it up. Stupid.
You making dough there, babe?
Would you like to feel the most softest, perfectest, pillowest dough ball?
Very pillowy. What you making?
We're making cinnamon buns.
Cinnamon buns on the Uyuni Salt Flats.
Yeah, this will be my first time making cinnamon buns at elevation, so
Anything
let's
could
see.
happen.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at those beauties. Oh wow, babe. Christmas cinnamon buns, what? Alright, here they are, finished product. Look at those beauties.
They look nice, don't they?
Are you going to cover them in the
Icing.
icing now?
Yes, we have some cream
yes.
cheese frosting.
Oh my word. What a beautiful thing.
Come to me, pretty.
Come to me, my precious.
Here you go. The biggest one.
Fortunately, I'm currently holding a camera, so I can't really pick it up. These turned out really good despite the elevation.
Yeah, thanks AI for helping me adjust the recipe.
Ooh! Oh, okay. So, the icing, cream cheese icing, so good. But the dough and how it rose, it's so fluffy. So cinnamony. These turned out great, babe. Absolutely great. Uyuni Salt Flat cinnamon buns. Christmas cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
So good. Well, it is Christmas morning. And on this Christmas morning, what are we having, honey?
Bacon!
Bacon. We don't get bacon very often here in South America. But today is a good day. It's a bacon day.
A bacon.
Now that is a Christmas breakfast, if I ever did see one. What a beautiful thing bacon is, eh?
It's a bit weird. I tried a bit. It's definitely not North American bacon, unfortunately.
It's close enough.
I know this may look like deja vu. It's a day later and I'm making more buns.
But what are you making this time?
These are peppermint bark rolls. They're like cinnamon buns, but they're chocolate peppermint flavored. And we love chocolate peppermint flavor.
Yep.
I know that lots of you probably hate it, but we love it. So.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
There you go. Round 2.
Round 2.
Round deliciously 2.
We still have cinnamon buns left.
Tonight for Christmas dinner, Meg has put together a charcuterie board. Check this out. Look at that! Oh, wow. We got some little mini empanadas. And we're cracking a bottle of Chilean wine. That ain't bad, babe.
Life's good.
Life is good. Well, it definitely rained last night. There was a number of times we got woken up by rain pattering against the van. And this morning there's like a pretty thin slick of water over the plains or over the salt flats. We're going to be moving early today just so that we can go explore some of the islands and then get to Uyuni to spray the van off. I think it's going to be a total salt massacre by the time we get off the salt flats. And of course, we don't want our old girl to rust too bad, so yeah. All right, let's get moving. Before reaching Bolivia, we had feared that we may not reach Uyuni before the rainy season had saturated the ground beneath the salt. The consequences for getting caught out where the salty crust thins and beneath is a bottomless mire are high. This gave us a bit to worry about as we entered the Salar. We had seen a few tour trucks drive by earlier that morning, so we did have a bit of assurance that a bit of rain wouldn't find us in too much trouble, but the thought still lingered. With the overcast that crept over this area during the night, it made the horizon almost indistinguishable at times, save for the mountains and islands in the distance. As we set off in the direction of Isla Incahuasi, it quickly dawned on us just how big this salar truly is. Spanning more than 10,500 square kilometers in southeast Bolivia, the Salar de Uyuni is the remnant of an ancient lake that evaporated long ago, leaving behind what you see here, an immense, almost perfectly flat crust of salt. In the rainy season, a thin sheet of water transforms it into the world's largest natural mirror. In the dry months, it stretches out as a blinding white landscape that seems to go on forever. Beneath the surface, the Salar also holds one of the planet's largest reserves of lithium hidden below the salt. And here we are, casually driving our home out across it. So this drive is absolutely insane. Like, the Uyuni Salt Flats are so big. We started driving away from the island and I looked at the map and we've got like probably another close to an hour to get to Uyuni, the actual town, and that's just driving straight in a straight line across the flats. It's mind-bogglingly big. I cannot believe we're here. This is incredible.
That. Right? That?
is, the Dakar Monument. Well, we're almost off the Salt Flats.
Adios.
Adios, Salt Flats. A short drive away, we arrived in the town of Uyuni, where we found a car wash service to spray off all the salt and coat the underside with used motor oil. It's crucial that this is done, because after driving through so much salt, it's unbelievable where you'll find chunks of it later on. This little outfit on the edge of town did a great job of getting the van cleaned up and salt-free. A state of being for old Betty that only lasted about an hour. Well, we're here to just get propane and water, but you can see that there's
Holy.
a lineup.
Oh my gosh, that is intense. Never mind. So glad we don't need gas.
All right, let's just get an idea of how long this lineup is. And you're starting to line up here. So I would say that's probably like a solid day of waiting, maybe more,
Yeah.
based on how fast they were filling cars.
Yeah.
More misfortune. We had a 20-liter jerry can right here and it's gone. I'm pretty sure it just fell off the back. So we're pretty sure we can finish the whole Lagunas route with what we have, but it was a very stupid mistake.
Yeah, so for some reason that third jerry can we had on the back was secure until today. Even though all the roads today have been super smooth. So yeah, I was like constantly checking that it was still on the back and like just completely forgot about it. And then Alex went to go empty it into the van and it was gone. And we're in Uyuni, which is experiencing a major fuel shortage. So I'm pretty certain that somebody just picked it up like immediately after it fell off the back of the van. We retraced our steps and it wasn't there. So that extra 20 liters that we just lost was mainly just like insurance and peace of mind. We were pretty confident that we would have enough fuel to do this whole loop that we're doing without that 20 liters, but we figured, oh, like it'll give us a little allowance to maybe do some exploring that we weren't going to do initially. And also we figured with that extra 20 liters, we would have been able to make it into Argentina and not go back to San Pedro de Atacama. So yeah, it's not the end of the world. I think we still have enough fuel on deck to reliably go 600 or 650 kilometers. From here to San Pedro de Atacama, the gas station, I think we have somewhere between 500 and 520 kilometers to travel. And I just did the calculation with how much fuel we have, and we should absolutely be able to go 600 kilometers, if not 650. So yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's just like, I can't believe that happened. Like, what a punch in the gut.
Well, the van was clean. After leaving Uyuni, we drove out on the number 5, which currently seems to be in a state of construction. The roadway is clay, and after the rains that preceded us, it was now a thick slick of mud akin to a skating rink. We traveled a long mogul of dirt at a crawl, while the mud flats on either side haunted us and with the help of gravity, constantly tried to pull us down towards them. Luckily though, after an hour or so of our balancing act, we mounted tarmac and made a speedy drive southwest towards the start of the Lagunas Route. Dark clouds loomed in the distance, the same that had wet our path out of Uyuni. Perhaps our luck had run out. We had managed to drive the Salt Flats safely, but maybe the rainy season had other plans for our upcoming off-road route. Yeah, deep.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Next minute we're stuck in a puddle.
Sandy bottoms.
Night 1 on the Lagunas route and it's snowing.
It's snowing. And that was an 8-hour drive day. Yeehaw. Yeah, to say this was unexpected, it's maybe an understatement. Ooh, that's cold snow. Just can't believe this is ridiculous. Well, it's certainly a rather unique perspective on the Lagunas Route, but I'm a little bit worried we're not going to see anything at all. Meg was looking at the forecast last night, and she said that it's not really looking too encouraging, that the snow and the overcast might keep up. I really hope we get to see something, because we're like pretty socked in right now. Dang.
Or maybe, just maybe, we were about to see a uniquely beautiful side of the Lagunas Route that many others don't get to see.
I take back what I said. I think this is going to be one of the most spectacular drives. The clouds have kind of slowly melted away and the mountains are out. Like, look at, wait, I can't, look at those mountains in the back. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I've said a time or two before that it's nigh on impossible to time everything right on a trip that spans continents, but I think it's safe to say that we've timed this one pretty well, if you ask me.
All right, well, it is time for us to start moving. I have emptied every drop of fuel I can into the fuel tank. So I think we're at a full tank now. We actually mapped the Lagunas Route from where we are last night. We only have like roughly 290 kilometers, so it's actually a lot shorter than we thought. And then we can just coast into San Pedro de Atacama. I think we're going to keep our exploring to a minimum just because we don't have any fuel reserve, and we're a little bit, just a tiny bit nervous about fuel range. And you know, I've been told that this route gets really sandy, and that gets
Kills the fuel mileage.
Yeah, it really does. Also, we're driving all the way up to like
4,900 meters.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, but the nice thing is that because it's so short, we don't have to make huge drive days. So we have plenty of time to just kind of walk around and check places out. All right, let's get going.
Stoke was very high as we departed our first spot, and what was to come was worth every ounce of that stoke. If you're enjoying this film and want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like. It's a free and easy way to help our videos make it to a wider audience. First Laguna, and you can't see in the camera, but there are a lot of flamingos. My goodness.
Meg is currently losing her shit over the flamingos, and I'm losing my shit over its reflection. Oh my word. Whoa.
That is the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Look at them all out there. Alright, bird nerds, eat your hearts out.
Along the Lagunas Route, shallow mineral-rich lakes provide a vital habitat for thousands of flamingos. 3 species, the Andean, James's, and Chilean flamingo, feed here on algae and microscopic organisms rich in natural pigments called carotenoids. These pigments are processed by their bodies and deposited in their feathers, giving the flamingos their distinctive pink color. Thousands of people come from around the world to view these uniquely colored birds in their natural habitat. Thousands, including Meg.
Yeah, take some vertical ones so that I can use them as my phone screensaver.
Well, flamingos. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of those in the upcoming days.
I'm obsessed with them.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Now that we had joined the main route on the west side, we encountered the other thing that the Lagunas Route is known for: washboard. Between narrow sections of trail where ancient volcanic plains stretch out, the route has widened out as drivers have sought out smoother terrain, inching towards the sidelines until the ground from above looks as though it's been run over with a giant comb. At a time when we would love to be focused on looking at the mountains, we instead have our eyes locked on what's ahead, trying in vain to aim for the smoothest terrain possible. The washboard is unrelenting, aggressive, and threatens to loosen every bolt and nut in the construction of our precious home on wheels.
This is Canyon de Vizcachas, right? I bet that's like their little drinking. Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
You weren't kidding. It is like AstroTurf.
Yeah.
That's wild. Well, we're having lunch. Meg has made some sandwiches for us. But look at this. This is going to be another snack roulette, I think. Doritos Switch. They're both sour cream and onion and Dorito flavor.
Don't tempt me with a good time in the grocery store. Come on. Sounds like a party.
Yeah.
They're Doritos with the Lay's stacked sour cream and onion flavor, which it looks like a Cool Ranch Dorito, which I love.
We'll chew on it.
Oh yeah.
Thumbs up.
That's so good.
It's all good. Put some on our sandwiches.
I said to Meg many times, and I'll continue to say it, this place is an overlander's paradise. My only regret coming here is not having more fuel, food, and water so that we could spend weeks exploring all the different roads that wander off into the distance.
These just keep on getting better and better. This looks like it could be home for the night.
Storm's coming in, so we're calling it quits.
Yeah. And it looks like we have buddies for the night. Yeah, I think he came up to me. Yeah, because probably so many tourists feed them. You were like a weird mix of like a rabbit and a squirrel. We're gonna get hit by a big storm tonight.
The storm that had passed that night before deposited more snow atop the mountains, making for yet another ethereal landscape when we awoke the next morning.
Well, what a night, what a morning. We have a kind of a smaller day today. We're just going to Laguna Colorada and the Stone Tree, which are super touristy. We've already seen like so many tourist or like tour trucks go by, but I think it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, fingers crossed the rain holds out.
Yeah.
It looks pretty stormy right now.
But so far, and I think I can speak for both of us, this route has been the favorite of the entire Pan Am.
Yeah, we can see why it's so popular.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. So this is the section of road that we figure everyone complains about because it's this massive stretch of sand and it's all corrugated. There's not a section of this road that is not corrugated, and it spans all the way out across over there. There's all corrugations.
This right here is the rock tree. It's been carved almost entirely by relentless wind erosion. Its narrow base and wider crown give it the appearance of a tree frozen in stone. Standing alone in an otherwise open desert, it's a striking reminder of the powerful natural forces that shape this high-altitude landscape.
It's a rock tree!
Yeah.
Wow! You holding it up?
Wave!
More corrugations. Well, it's lunchtime, and I got the leftovers of our security board,
Leftover Christmas charcuterie.
and we're currently at Laguna, Colorado, but it's blowing a gale outside. There's rain, but there's lots of vicuñas and flamingos.
And llamas.
Yeah, llamas too. Look at the baby llama.
Cutest thing ever.
Can't really tell if it's a llama or alpaca, but so cute. That guy's pooping.
That's a power stance if I've ever seen one.
That is a power stance. Well, hon, you're pretty stoked on all these animals?
Yeah. I just love multiple animals in one place.
Think his name is Cusco?
What's with you and the Emperor's New Groove?
What's wrong with Emperor's New Groove, lady?
Once we had absorbed enough of the sights from the shores of Laguna, Colorado, we made a break for camp as many more tour groups spilled in. We would camp that night in a deep canyon, an excellent place to shelter from the wind.
Alrighty, hey there folks. So we woke up to sunshine for the first time on the Lagunas Route.
Yahoo!
Yahoo! That means driving with...
Full view of all the mountains.
Yeah. Today we have another kind of short drive. This is the second last day that we have on the Lagunas Route. We're going to be doing a pass of 4,900 meters. So just 170 meters short of our highest elevation ever. And then we're going to check out some geysers and then finish our day off at a hot spring and then some other kind of wild camp.
A solar, I think. We'll camp on the solar.
Yeah. Figure out somewhere cool to sleep for the night.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get going. It's going to be another good day. Yeah. Woo! And at 4589, we are officially in grunt mode.
At least there's lots of 4x4s here. Good stuff.
Despite our experience with high mountain passes and an utter lack of power, old girl Betty plodded along through the rock and gravel like a champ. Out before us stretched views for days, snow-capped peaks accenting the skyline in the distance, and the ever-present rattle of the van filling our ears.
Look at this one go. Holy moly. All right, geyser exploration number 2. Let's go.
Do it.
Meg says it's really quite scary because you can hear it.
Rumbling under your feet.
This is like Yellowstone except without the fences.
Yeah.
Oh! Look at that!
Sounds like a monster.
Oh yeah, there you go. What a nice mud bath. I bet this would do wonders for your skin.
Burning hot mud.
Yep. Totally.
Yeah, probably.
Well, looks like we found camp for the night. We just rolled into this spot and I'm pretty sure that's a natural hot spring right there. It looks very promising. Oh yeah, it's like a warm spring. Really clear though. Nice.
Oh yeah, okay, okay. It's not so bad. What would you call this?
Packed.
Is it a little cold?
It's like probably 20 degrees. So it's colder than your body temperature.
But not so bad. This is nice.
What did that look for?
This would be our final night amidst the mountains and lakes of the Lagunas Route. Visions of vast, sweeping valleys, technicolored mountains, flamingos, and vast volcanic plains filled our memory. This was a bucket list drive, a section of gravel that has earned the praise of all the overlanders before us. These memories, images, and stories that we've collected here will be cemented in the scrapbook of our lives, reminding us always of the dreams and goals we've accomplished in this short sliver of time on this big green earth. Gratitude fills our hearts, dust fills our nostrils, and the sound of flamingos fills our ringing ears after the rattle of the van has subsided. We nearly didn't get back into Bolivia, but golly, are we ever happy we did.
Over there look cool. Valley.
Yeah, that's the Well, it's the last day on the Lagunas Route.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty epic place to wake up.
Yeah, we're crossing back into Chile this afternoon probably.
Yep.
After we see the last few sites on the Lagunas Route. And so crossing into Chile is the worst because their agricultural checks are super serious. So last night I did all the prep for that. I hand squeezed all our citrus and chopped up all of our ginger, garlic, and turmeric, and yeah.
Yeah. We got like 40 to 50 kilometers to get out, and then we're going to assess our fuel level once we get to pavement, but we're pretty sure that we don't have to go to San Pedro de Atacama, so instead we're just going to head straight to Argentina.
Yeah, going to San Pedro de Atacama is kind of annoying because it's in the wrong direction, but also because you drop down from 4,600 meters all the way down to 2,300 meters.
Yeah, so it's pretty close to a 2,500 or...
And then we have to make the whole climb back up just to go to the border to Argentina.
And it's straight, there's no switchbacks, so it's just like straight up.
So if we can avoid that,
we're going to.
Yeah.
And
worst comes to worst, we could probably hitchhike across the Argentinian border with some jerry cans because we'll be close.
Yeah, we'll be very close. Well, this has definitely been, hands down, the coolest route we have ever done.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, it's too bad because there's so many tour groups, but as soon as you're on the route, you realize why.
Yeah.
Because it's so spectacular. So we caught it at a really good time, I think. It's like super, super low season between Christmas and New Year's, and then also just low season in Bolivia in general. So I think we got really lucky, but I think the tour groups can kind of ruin it for some folks.
Yeah, we've definitely heard that sentiment before. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you're in Bolivia, do not miss this route.
No.
It's been so epic. And we can confidently say that you can do it with a two-wheel drive vehicle.
Absolutely.
Just be ready to air down your tires really low. Probably want some clearance. The ruts get really deep, and so we found ourselves straddling ruts a lot, and that meant that we were in kind of like the rocks. So make sure you have a 10-ply tire because you don't want to probably have to fix or replace a tire out here.
Yeah, I mean, I would say even if you don't feel like you can do those things, like I know there's a lot of people on the Pan Am that don't feel comfortable or confident airing down their tires all the way, and also probably don't have an air compressor on deck. And even if you don't have those things or feel comfortable driving off-road, I would say that you can still do this route. It's just going to be really, really bumpy. Yeah. So you'll have to drive slow, but still worth it.
And bring lots of extra fuel. I mean, we managed with what we have, but Yeah, it's definitely gonna suck down the fuel pretty quick with all the sand.
Yeah, we still had 180 liters of fuel. A little shy of that.
Yeah.
From Uyuni, we had that much. We were supposed to have 200 liters, but
Yeah.
we lost that jerry can. Oops.
Well, I guess we'll see you guys in Argentina. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next one, I guess. Later.
Peace out.
And with that, we drove the remaining 50 kilometers of the Lagunas Route, crossed the border into Chile, and then headed straight for Argentina. Our time in Bolivia started out a little rough, with some hard-learned lessons, but when we returned, and we are so glad we did, it redeemed itself tenfold. This country is every bit the adventure destination that you imagine it is. We wish we could see more, but our time here in South America is coming to a close faster than we can keep track of, and there's still so much more to see. Thank you for being here along with us on this journey. We hope in some way we sparked your curiosity. Maybe you even learned something. At the very least, we hope we showed you a world worth exploring, worth protecting and valuing. Now, get out and go on that next big adventure. Make the memories that stick with you, shape you, and change you. And until the next one, keep on roaming. If you would like to see behind-the-scenes content, get route and camp spot information, or if you'd just like to help support us by putting some gas in our tank each month, you can contribute on Patreon or through memberships on our YouTube channel. And oh hey there, but before you go, don't forget to go on over to slowroamers.com to get yourself some rad Slow Roamers merch. We've even got some new stickers and stuff in there for you. For additional photos and commentary on our journey, you can follow along on Facebook and Instagram. Well, Bolivia, holy moly, we're sure glad we came back and checked you out some more because, by golly, you're gorgeous. We're gonna miss you a lot and gonna dream about you at night. That got weird. Okay, bye.